I'm on the phone with Chad Winnagel, Senior Developer, ESCO Consulting in upstate New York. Good afternoon, Chad, and thanks for agreeing to the interview.
Hey, Bill. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. So, Chad, thanks for the opportunity to chat with you. I understand that you're a Joomla developer, and you're responding today in response to a blog post on an assessment of Drupal versus Joomla versus WordPress. I understand that you have some thoughts on the Joomla environment, and for the listeners of this podcast, can you respond to those thoughts, and specifically as it relates to the comments that were made earlier on the WordPress environment?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was reading through the blog post, and I was just kind of alarmed that there was some misinformation going out about how Joomla really works and what's included in the core of Joomla and what isn't. So I thought it was really important to kind of set the record straight and kind of talk about, well, what really is Joomla about, what does it really have, what can it really do, and if you're going to compare it to another product like Drupal or WordPress, it's really best to make sure that we're really talking about what is reality and what isn't.
Appreciate that. At the end of the day, however, you do recognize that everybody's going to have their opinion, and, some people like Fords, some people like Chevrolets, right? So.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And people should always, do what works best for them, use what works best for them. My personal experience with Joomla community in particular has always been really quite fantastic. I started out in the Joomla community in particular. I was 15 years old, and I was granted an internship at a web development company, and they were already using, at the time, we had just really switched from Mambo to Joomla, and I started there just learning about code, learning about development, and 5 years later, I'm now actually the senior developer of that same company. I've gotten an associate's degree in web development, and a lot of my growth in development has come out of inspiration from Joomla. Just working with different people in the community and working with just getting ideas from them has really gotten me to pursue the development career that I have now. So in terms of Joomla community, that's something that I've gotten out of it. But in terms of this blog post, there's just a lot of things in here that are very opinionated, which is great, and I think everyone is, of course, very entitled to their opinion. And as I was saying, if you have something that you love to use and you enjoy using it and it works well for you, by all means you should continue to use it. No one should stand in your way of doing the best possible work that you can do with whatever tool it is that you're using. But if you're going to write a post about it and talk about it, it's good to make sure that you're conveying information that is correct and true. And so I kind of disagreed with some of the facts that were on here, and I'm hoping that we can kind of make sure that we're all on the same page as far as the facts go.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So go ahead. What are some of your findings?
Okay, well, I'll start right off talking about Alec here and some of the advantages that he gives to Joomla. And the first thing that he says as an advantage is a good menu system, and I definitely have to agree. I will say that the menu system in Joomla, it can be really kind of a challenge for new users to kind of understand. And I think that comes out of just some of the verbiage that gets used. But in Joomla 1.6 and 1.7, which was released about 2 to 3 months ago, they've really done a much better job of conveying what's going on in the menu manager. But I appreciate Alec for recognizing that, hey, we have a pretty powerful system. The complexity of it makes it a little difficult to use, but also it's complex and powerful. He also gives us some pros for a strong static page structure, which is nice, but I will say that I've used the static page structure in Joomla maybe less than 10 to 15 times, honestly. Most Joomla developers don't use static pages because Joomla as a CMS, a content management system, is not about static content. It's really about dynamic content. So when you're in a CMS environment like Joomla, you don't really want to build static pages. You want to build dynamic content items that can, be used in many different ways. So it's very database centric. It's all about taking articles and displaying them different ways. And so I appreciate the plus for the static page structure, but it would have been nice to see something about the dynamic part of it, which is really, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, a much bigger element in a CMS world.
And you had some other items as well, correct?
Yes, yep. Alec gives us some kudos for a built-in membership and community feature, and this one I really kind of scratched my head and said, what is he referring to? Joomla, the core of Joomla definitely does not have any built-in membership system. When I think of a membership system, I think of, user accounts with profile data, with avatars, with, either you've joined and there's, a transaction happening, you signed up through PayPal, you have a time limit in your account. That's really a full-featured membership system. And Joomla Core definitely does not have anything like that. The great thing is that Joomla can definitely support that feature. There's lots of great extensions that give you some really access control granular lists, really powerful membership features, but it's definitely not built into the core. So it's there, but it definitely is not a core thing, but it's nice that Alec recognizes that it's possible to do it with Joomla. He kind of stops with his advantages and says that, it's been on the market a long time. It definitely has been around for quite a long time. Of course, it started as Mambo, and then there was a fork in the project, and then it was changed to Joomla, and then later on eventually became Joomla 1.0 was Mambo, literally the same code. Joomla 1.5 was a rewrite of the Joomla 1.0 code with some legacy code remaining to allow for much easier migration, which it really did. And then Joomla 1.6 and then 1.7 have come out in the last, between now and 6 months ago or 8 months ago. And they are total rewrites from the really the base up, and there's no legacy code. So it's been on the market a long time. It's gone through a lot of iterations, but at this point in time, any references to Mambo have pretty much ended, unless you're talking about Joomla 1.0 or 1.5. And so that's pretty much where Alex stops with, giving us pluses. But I noticed that he had given some pluses to, WordPress with their huge community. And as I talked about earlier, the Joomla community is really enormous. There are anywhere from probably 50 to 100 Joomla days internationally. There's many in the United States. There's many in Europe. There are definitely some in South America and definitely in eastern parts of the world. Asia, Korea have had all of them have had either annual Joomla days or semi-annually, and there are many other Joomla events, and those are just events. There's a huge Joomla community online as far as Twitter goes. There's lots and lots of people. There's the forums of Joomla, which has many members and many posts. It's very, very helpful. There's mailing lists. There's the joomla.people.org site, which is amazing. Actually, that's people.joomla.org, which has a lot of really cool features. There's a new Ask a Question feature for responding to people with questions. So the Joomla community is really big, and it would have been nice to see that if he can acknowledge that the WordPress community is pretty big, that Joomla has a community to be mentioned. Maybe not quite as many people as WordPress, but definitely sizable in terms of relative, size.
And I have to say, very impressed with is the level of professionalism that appears to be coming out of the Joomla community. The early response, both directly and via the blog post, Chad, and I really appreciate this of you, and that you hit this issue head on, responding very professionally, and kudos to you and kudos to the Joomla community for that.
Oh, thank you so much. And I definitely will say that the WordPress Joomla Drupal conversation has been happening for years. I can remember when I was, an intern, I didn't know anything, hearing about, WordPress and Drupal and this and that, and it was very, very contentious. And there was a point in time where I think all of us kind of mutually decided, hey, you have your tools, we have our tools, and it's really important for us to not just diss each other and, say, hey, we do this better, you do that worse type of thing, because it's not productive. It doesn't help anyone. And really what we should be focusing on is really what are we doing? What is our project about? Who are we trying to reach? And really focus on bettering our projects individually, complementing each other when we see, good things, and learning from each other, because really that's what, at the end of the day, we need to really be doing, is focusing on progress for all of us. So yeah, I appreciate you recognizing that. We're not really interested in, degrading other projects. We want to just learn how you guys do stuff better. Hopefully you've taken some, things from us, and what we don't like, we'll let you, kind of deal with on your own. But we don't want to insult anyone for the work that they've done.
And in fairness to the entire community, I say the good news is, as a profession, those of us that create, develop, market, maintain websites on the internet, we've made major advances in services that we deliver to clients. And it would be fair to say that many developers may use a variety of resources in their ditty bag kit, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember at one point in time we did a lot of work with many different software applications. I've definitely built WordPress sites and Drupal sites, not Drupal, Joomla sites. And there's definitely things that I love about WordPress, no doubt about it. I think that there's some things that Joomla can really take away, and has taken away through third-party extensions and whatnot, to integrate some of those things into the Joomla environment. But Joomla in and of itself is a content management system, and I know that our company is interested in providing the best possible application for whatever project our clients want to do. And we've had some really powerful needs in e-commerce. And so we've really taken a strong liking to Magento and learning how to implement that into either with Joomla or standalone applications to really give our clients some really powerful e-commerce management. And it's important to not be like a one-stop shop for one product. If you're going to really help your clients as much as possible, you need to be a little diverse in the applications that you can use and use well. So we love Joomla, we love Magento, we use WordPress quite a bit, and so we use everything to make the best possible sites and the best possible services for our clients.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. That's a very good point, Chad. And we certainly appreciate your contribution to the web profession, your contribution to webprofessionals.org, and most definitely for your time today.
No problem, Bill. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I hope people are able to look at some of the resources I posted and find out for themselves what Joomla is all about, what's available, what they can really do, and and then decide what they're going to keep on using if they have already picked something and they're not happy with what Joomla is offering. But in the end, I hope that everyone's able to learn a little bit and continue doing the best possible work they can.